Picture this. You're driving along a peaceful coastal road on what seems like any other spring afternoon. But in the distance, something impossible is happening. The horizon itself appears to be moving. The Currentech dashcam mounted on this van captures what happens next with chilling clarity. At first glance, you might mistake it for heavy rain approaching. Dark clouds gather on the water's edge. But then you realize the horrible truth. That's not a storm cloud, it's a wall of water.
走るしかなかったんですね。そのもう最中に車が波に巻き込まれたっていう状況で、波が増えて、もう車が
The tsunami strikes with the force of liquid fury. In seconds, the calm coastal road becomes a death trap. The seawall, built to protect the town, crumbles like paper. Water explodes over the barrier, carrying cars, debris, and lives with it. You can hear the fear in every voice as the vehicle rocks violently. The driver fights desperately for control, but physics has already won this battle. The car floats in the water. The dashcam captures it all, every terrifying second. The world spins upside down. Water floods the frame. Muffled screams mix with the roar of destruction outside. For moments that feel like hours, the camera dips underwater before surfacing again, gasping for air like the passengers trapped inside. Miraculously, a blurred figure escapes the wreckage. Rescue teams later confirm everyone in this particular vehicle survived, though dozens of others weren't so lucky. The footage became one of the most haunting visual records of a tsunami ever captured. The Peterson family was just running errands in Grimes, Iowa. Brooke Porter, the mom, needed to pick up something from Facebook Marketplace. Their dashcam was recording out of habit, insurance purposes, nothing more. They had no idea they were about to document one of nature's most violent phenomena. The first sign something was wrong came as a sudden temperature drop. The family noticed it immediately, that eerie calm before a storm. But this wasn't going to be just any storm. This was a derecho, a land hurricane most people have never heard of. Then the sky turned dark green, an unnatural color that made everyone in the car fall silent. The dashcam captured the exact moment when 100-mile-per-hour winds slammed into their SUV like an invisible freight train. Trees that had stood for decades snapped like toothpicks. Power lines whipped through the air like deadly serpents. Inside the vehicle, the family's calm reaction is almost more unsettling than the chaos outside. Brooke speaks in hushed tones, trying not to frighten the children, but you can hear the fear creeping into their voices as debris crashes around them. The car shudders with each gust, headlights flickering as the electrical system struggles. The dual dashcam setup captured both the destruction ahead and the family's reactions inside. Branches the size of telephone poles crashed down just feet away. Their luck was that the kid in the front had the idea to go hide in the supermarket ahead of them. Then, as suddenly as it began, the violence stops. The footage went viral on Reddit, praised for showing how quickly Mother Nature can turn suburban safety into survival horror. Weather experts now use this video in training, calling it a perfect example of derecho fury captured in real time. UK 07. Ryder was on one of his usual late-night drives, the kind of peaceful journey that helps clear the mind after a long day. The highway stretched empty ahead, lit only by his headlights cutting through the darkness. His dashcam hummed quietly, recording what should have been an unremarkable trip to a wedding. That's when he saw it. A white figure glided across the road from left to right, moving in a strange but also scary way. No footsteps, no sound, just a pale form that seemed to walk and scare the cars. Most people would convince themselves they imagined it. Maybe fatigue, maybe shadows playing tricks. But then, when he turned to go home, the pale figure disappeared. The dashcam caught it all. The translucent figure reflected in the side mirror. There one moment, gone the next. The rider's voice betrays his terror. His speed drops to a crawl as he processes what just happened. No other cars, no road signs, no logical explanation, just empty highway and whatever had just crossed his path. Since posting online, the video has racked up over 5 million views. The comment section is a battlefield between skeptics crying fake and believers insisting it's authentic paranormal activity. Frame-by-frame analysis reveals details that make both sides more certain of their positions. Ghost hunters have studied the footage extensively. They point out the consistent movement patterns, the way light interacts with the figure, the rider's genuine shock. Skeptics counter with explanations about why a ghost would need a flashlight. But for those brave enough to watch alone at night, one question remains. If it wasn't real, why does it feel so absolutely terrifying? The life of a long-haul trucker is built on routine. Mile after mile of asphalt, the hypnotic rhythm of diesel engines and empty highways that stretch into darkness. For most drivers, the biggest worry is staying awake during those lonely 3 a.m. stretches through America's forgotten backroads. But sometimes, routine becomes a nightmare. Deep in the Pacific Northwest, a trucker's dashcam captured something that defies explanation. The footage begins like thousands of others. Headlights cutting through the forest darkness, trees forming walls on both sides of the empty highway. Then the movement breaks the spell. At first, it's just a shadow among shadows, but as the truck approaches, the outline becomes unmistakably clear. Something massive stands just beyond the tree line, at least 7 feet tall, with shoulders broader than any human. This isn't someone lost in the woods or a hitchhiker seeking help. The proportions are all wrong. The figure moves with deliberate silence, each step calculated and fluid. It pauses under a lone streetlight, giving the camera a perfect view of its imposing silhouette. Then, as if sensing the approaching truck, it melts back into the forest shadows with unsettling grace. The trucker's voice cuts through the engine noise. "Did you see that?" The panic is real, the confusion genuine. He slams the brakes, but it's already too late. The figure has vanished as suddenly as it appeared. Yet the dashcam captured it all, preserving those few seconds when reality seemed to bend. Since appearing online, the video has exploded across social media platforms, accumulating over 5 million views. The uploader's warning in the description adds an ominous touch. If you can't see the beast, revert to the other video. It has a highlight where the beast is standing. That choice of words, beast, sends chills down viewers' spines. It suggests the uploader knows exactly what they captured, and it wasn't human. Reddit's cryptid communities erupted in heated debate. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed details that both support and contradict a genuine Bigfoot encounter. The creature's posture appears authentically ape-like, its movements too fluid for a person in a costume. But skeptics weren't convinced. They pointed to known hoaxer Sonny Vator, whose history includes multiple staged Bigfoot videos. The lack of specific location data, timestamps, or trucker identification raised red flags. Some suggested the figure could be an elaborate prop, a person in disguise, or even a strategically lit tree stump. What makes this footage particularly unsettling isn't just what it shows, it's what it represents. The Pacific Northwest has a long history of Sasquatch encounters, dating back to Native American legends. These forests are vast, largely unexplored, and capable of hiding secrets we can't imagine. Whether genuine cryptid encounter or masterful hoax, the video accomplishes something profound. It makes us question what lurks in America's darkest corners. New Year's Day 2024 started quietly in Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan. Elderly passengers sat comfortably in their van, perhaps returning from holiday visits with family. The dashcam timestamp shows 12:47 p.m. when their world began to shake apart. The earthquake hit without warning, 7.6 on the Richter scale, one of Japan's strongest in years. But what the dashcam captured wasn't just any earthquake. This was ground liquefaction in real time, the earth itself turning into liquid beneath their wheels. Inside the van, passengers grip their seats as the world convulses around them. The camera shakes so violently it's hard to focus on anything, but you can hear their voices, shock, fear, and the realization that this isn't stopping. For 90 seconds, the ground refuses to stay solid. Then came the second nightmare. Water explodes over the seawall with the fury of revenge. The tsunami surge transforms streets into rivers in seconds. Cars that were parked safely moments before now float like bathtub toys. The van carrying our camera becomes a boat, whether its passengers wanted it to or not. Emergency crews later rescued everyone in this van, but the broader disaster claimed hundreds of lives. The dashcam footage became crucial evidence for scientists studying how quickly earthquakes can trigger deadly tsunamis. Local press described the earthquake as making ground roll like jello. But the video shows something more unsettling. How quickly our solid, predictable world can turn liquid and wild, transforming a peaceful new year into a fight for survival captured frame by terrifying frame. August 30th, 2021 started like any routine patrol for the Florida deputies. A simple traffic stop, the kind they'd done thousands of times before. Their dashcam rolled automatically, recording what should have been a standard interaction. Maybe a speeding ticket, maybe a warning. But hidden in the back seat sat someone with different plans. The conversation begins normally enough. Papers are requested, IDs checked. There's even a baby in the car, which usually makes these stops calmer, more civilized. The deputies approach professionally, following protocol they'd practiced countless times. That's when hell breaks loose. The man in the back seat suddenly produces a rifle and at point-blank range opens fire on the officers.
The 2-month-old baby and dog inside the car while he steps out of the vehicle. But that's when Paris Wilder gets out with an AR-15 style rifle and starts shooting. Deputies then return fire. It is chaos, and in this clip you see Wilder come from behind and hits one of the deputies with the butt of the rifle.
The dashcam captures every muzzle flash, every desperate dive for cover. One deputy takes a hit in the leg but keeps fighting. Training kicks in, adrenaline overrides pain, and they return fire with precision. But the gunman isn't finished. He rushes around the patrol car, using his rifle like a club, beating one deputy in a desperate attempt to finish what he started. The camera shakes with the violence, recording sounds no training manual can prepare you for. Gunshots, shouts, the wet impact of metal on flesh. In total, over 60 shots were fired in less than 2 minutes. When the smoke cleared, the gunman lay dead and both deputies were wounded, but alive. Sheriff Ivey later revealed the shooter was a violent career criminal with nothing left to lose. The deputy who took the worst beating was a Marine veteran. He survived with a fractured leg and skull, his military training probably saving his life. The dashcam footage was released to the public, sparking national debate about police safety and split-second decision-making. What makes this footage so disturbing isn't just the violence, it's how quickly normal became warfare, all captured in unforgiving digital clarity.